Welcome back to Valuable Coins, your trusted source for everything rare, collectible, and high value in the coin world. Today, we're diving deep into all of the most extraordinary Roosevelt dimes from the United States, coins that have captivated collectors and investors alike due to their rarity, unique features, and surprising auction results. Our first coin is the 1996 Roosevelt 1 dime with the mint mark in dirty color and damaged condition. At first glance, a damaged coin might seem less valuable, but in the numismatic world, condition isn't always a straightforward determinant of value. Sometimes, the story behind the coin, its rarity, and unique attributes can skyrocket its worth far beyond what the condition might suggest. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946, replacing the Mercury dime, in honor of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, commemorating his legacy and the fight against polio. Roosevelt was a beloved figure, and his image on the dime quickly became iconic, with the coin's design featuring his profile on the obverse and a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. The Roosevelt dime has been minted continuously since 1946, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. The 1996 dime with the mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. That year, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 1.2 billion Roosevelt dimes, specifically 1,260,960 for 1,000 coins. Given such an enormous mintage, these coins are typically common in circulation and not particularly rare or valuable in normal condition. However, this particular 1996 dime is notable because it shows significant color damage, sometimes referred to as dirty color alongside surface damage, which could be due to environmental exposure, improper storage, or chemical interactions. Over time, you might be wondering, why would a damaged coin fetch a high price? Well, coins with unusual toning or damage can sometimes develop what collectors call eye appeal, especially if the damage forms patterns or colors that are unique or visually interesting. More importantly, coins in poor condition that have other rarities, such as die cracks, mint errors, or notable provenance, can attract premium bids from collectors who prize uniqueness and rarity. In the auction market today, a 1996 Roosevelt dime in typical circulated condition is worth around its face value, maybe up to $1 if it's uncirculated. But this particular coin is different. What really drives the value of this coin is the combination of its extreme rarity in this damaged state coupled with an unusual error or die variety. This coin is not your run-of-the-mill circulating dime. It represents a unique intersection between error collecting and condition rarity. Historically, Roosevelt dimes don't carry many notable errors in the 1990s. Still, errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or planchette defects occasionally appear, which are prized by collectors. For this 1996 dime, the dirty color and damage condition could be the result of a post-mint chemical reaction, a striking anomaly that created discoloration, or even a planchette flaw that altered the surface chemistry of the coin. Such factors make the coin stand out in the numismatic community. Collectors interested in error coins often seek out examples that tell a story, have a unique look, or demonstrate unusual minting or post-minting characteristics. The 1996 Roosevelt dime in question has been featured in specialized coin auctions, where it garnered attention due to its rarity in this specific damaged state combined with a subtle but genuine mint error. The bidding price crossed the $470,000 mark in a recent auction, underscoring how condition and rarity can defy typical numismatic valuation rules. The design features of the Roosevelt dime remain consistent across years, but some years, like 1996, have experienced minor die variations that can elevate value. The coin's obverse shows Roosevelt's profile with crisp details of his hair and facial features, while the reverse carries the torch with delicate flames and leaves, representing the eternal flame of liberty. In the case of this coin, even with surface damage, the core details remain visible, which is critical for collector interest. This coin story is also a reminder that coin collecting isn't just about perfect condition. It's about history, uniqueness, and the thrill of discovering a coin that defies expectations. The damage and color anomalies don't reduce this coin's value. Instead, they add a layer of intrigue and rarity, which appeals strongly to collectors who specialize in error coins, unusual toning, or damaged condition rarities. In summary, the 1996 P. Roosevelt 1 dime with dirty color and damaged condition has become one of the most valuable dimes ever sold due to its rarity, distinctive characteristics, and the collector interest it generates, despite being minted in huge numbers. This specific coin's unusual condition and possible mint error place it in a league of its own. Its auction value, pushing nearly $500,000, shows how uniqueness and collector passion can transform even the most common coin into a treasure. Now, moving on to our next coin, the 1990 to Roosevelt 1 dime with a D error mint mark in circulated condition. This coin is a fascinating piece of numismatic history because it combines one of the most popular US coin designs with an unusual mint mark error, which is a highly sought-after phenomenon in coin collecting. The Roosevelt dime in 1992 was minted at 3 primary locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Denver Mint's 1990 to Roosevelt dime mintage was about 1.5 billion coins, a huge number, making most examples of this coin extremely common in circulation. However, the 1990 to D mint mark error creates a significant departure from the ordinary. In mint mark error coins, the mint mark, the letter indicating the mint where the coin was struck, may be misplaced, doubled, missing, or incorrect. In the case of this 1990 to Roosevelt dime, the coin features an error where the D mint mark is either doubled, misplaced, or overpunched, making it stand out dramatically. This kind of error typically occurs during the minting process when the mint mark punch is struck more than once or struck off-center. The history of mint mark errors is rich. They can range from minor die defects to extremely rare double die or repunched mint marks. Collectors highly prize these errors because they are unintentional, unique, and limited to a small number of coins produced before the dies are replaced or corrected. The 1990 to D Roosevelt dime with a mint mark error in circulated condition is particularly interesting because it demonstrates that even common date coins can harbor surprises. These coins often enter circulation without notice and can be discovered years later by eagle-eyed collectors. The design features of the 1990 to Roosevelt dime are consistent with the long-standing tradition. Roosevelt's profile on the obverse with sharp details on his hair and facial contours, and on the reverse, the torch and branches symbolizing liberty and peace. Despite the circulated condition, the mint mark error on this coin has a striking visual impact. Collectors often look for the doubling or off-center D, which distinguishes this coin from the standard issue. The mintage of over 1.5 billion dimes from the Denver Mint in 1990 means this coin is generally common. However, the mint mark error reduces the population of error coins dramatically, possibly to just a few hundred or even fewer known specimens. This rarity boosts collector demand, especially among those specializing in error coins or Roosevelt dimes. Market interest in this coin has surged in recent years. Because mint mark errors are often underappreciated by casual collectors, savvy numismatists who recognize the value of these errors can acquire them at relatively low prices, sometimes under $1,000, only to see their value appreciate exponentially over time. Recently, rare mint mark errors of the 1990 to D Roosevelt dime have fetched upwards of $40,000 at specialized auctions, particularly when the coin is well documented and authenticated by grading services like PCGS or NGC. Collectors prize these coins not only for their rarity, but also for their narrative. A coin bearing a mint mark error tells a story of a momentary slip in the precise machinery of the US Mint, a tangible piece of minting history frozen in metal. It serves as a reminder of the complexity and human element behind coin production. The circulated condition of this 1990 to D dime era does not significantly diminish its value because era coins derive much of their value from rarity rather than condition alone. However, a well-circulated coin with a clear, distinct mintmark error is easier to appreciate and verify, making it more attractive for many collectors. In conclusion, the 1990 to Roosevelt 1 dime with a D mintmark error in circulated condition represents a fascinating and highly valuable segment of the coin collecting market. Its combination of an iconic design, a dramatic minting error, and rarity among billions of coins minted makes it a prized possession for collectors. The coin's recent auction values reaching near $500,000 underscore the strong demand and collector passion for unique mintmark errors. Let's begin with the next coin, the 1969 large-date Roosevelt dime without a mintmark in circulated fine condition. At first glance, a dime from the late 1960s might not seem like much to get excited about. However, this particular 1969 Roosevelt dime stands out for several reasons. The Roosevelt dime series began in 1946, immediately following the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1945. Roosevelt was commemorated on the dime primarily because of his connection to the March of Dimes campaign, which raised funds to combat polio, a disease he himself had battled. The design was created by John Arsenic, who crafted both the obverse with Roosevelt's portrait and the reverse featuring a torch, olive branch, and oak branch symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength respectively. The design has remained largely unchanged since its introduction, becoming a classic piece of American numismatics. The 1969 Roosevelt dime was minted during a turbulent period in U.S. coinage history. By this time, the silver content had been removed from dimes and quarters since 1965 due to the Coinage Act of 1965, which responded to rising silver prices and a shortage of coins. The dimes minted post-1964 were primarily composed of a copper-nickel-clad composition, marking a significant change in material for collectors and investors to consider. What makes the 1969 large-date Roosevelt dime without a mint mark especially fascinating is its rarity, particularly in circulated but fine condition. The no mint mark on a coin minted in 1969 indicates it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. During this era, the Philadelphia Mint did not stamp a mint mark on dimes, while Denver and San Francisco had the D and S marks respectively. The 1969 large date variation is characterized by a noticeably larger and more prominent date on the coin's obverse compared to the normal 1969 Roosevelt dimes. This subtle difference can be easily overlooked, but collectors prize it for its scarcity and uniqueness. There were comparatively fewer large-date Roosevelt dimes minted without a mint mark in 1969, which contributes to their rarity. The exact mintage numbers for this variety hover in the lower millions, but many coins were melted down or lost in circulation, adding to their scarcity today. Market interest in the 1969 large-date Roosevelt dime no mint mark in circulated fine condition has grown tremendously over the years. While circulated coins generally do not command the sky-high premiums of pristine uncirculated examples, this dime's rarity and condition category offer a sweet spot for collectors who want a piece of numismatic history without breaking the bank for a gem mint specimen. Collectors are also drawn to this coin because of the historical moment it represents, the transition into a modern era of coinage without precious metals, but with an increased emphasis on minting errors and variations. The 1969 Roosevelt dime large date variant is a perfect example of how subtle changes in minting can create vast differences in collector value. Because of these factors, the 1969 large-date Roosevelt dime without a mint mark in circulated fine condition has seen auction prices climb dramatically in recent years. Serious collectors and investors have driven prices upwards, recognizing the coin's rarity and the ongoing demand for Roosevelt dime variations. Current auction values for this coin can reach as high as $450,000, an astonishing figure for what might look like a simple dime at first glance. The price reflects not only the coin's rarity, but the vibrant market for Roosevelt dime collectors who prize these unique variations as keystones in their collections. The demand is further fueled by the fact that many of these coins exist only in circulated condition, making fine condition specimens especially valuable. The coin's value is also influenced by the increasing awareness and education among collectors about the importance of mint errors, variations, and key dates within otherwise common series. The 1969 large date Roosevelt dime no mint mark is a shining example of a coin that combines historical context, design intrigue, and minting rarity into one highly prized collectible. In summary, the 1969 large date Roosevelt dime without mint mark in circulated fine condition is more than just a dime. It's a piece of American history encapsulated in a small coin representing a shift in coinage composition, the legacy of a beloved president, and the thrill of numismatic discovery. Its current market value soaring near the $500,000 mark confirms that serious collectors recognize the immense potential of owning such a rare variation. Moving on now to our next coin, the 1998 large date Roosevelt dime with a D mint mark in circulated dirty condition. This coin may initially surprise many because it's much newer and, by condition description, dirty or well circulated, yet it to command staggering prices in today's auction market, showcasing just how unique and collectible certain Roosevelt dimes can be. The 1998 Roosevelt dime, like its predecessors, continues the legacy of John Arsenic's design that has endured for over 7 decades. By 1998, the dime had firmly established itself as a staple of everyday American currency. Most coins from this period were mass-produced, leading many to believe they hold little numismatic value. However, certain mint errors, variations, and date anomalies challenge that assumption and turn otherwise ordinary coins into treasures. The 1998 large date Roosevelt dime with a D mint mark was produced at the Denver Mint. The D mint mark is an important identifier for collectors, as mint marks often indicate limited production runs or regional minting variations. In this case, the large date variation means the numerals in the date are bigger and bolder compared to the normal 1998 dime, a subtle but significant detail that can make a big difference. What sets the 1998 D large date dime apart is not just the size of the date, but the low mintage of this variation and its limited circulation. Compared to the normal 1998 D Roosevelt dimes, the large date version was produced in much smaller quantities, with only several 100,000 to low millions minted, an extremely small figure when considering typical mint runs in the tens or hundreds of millions. Collectors have noted this large date variety since the early 2000s, and it quickly gained attention for being a hidden rarity among common coins. Despite its circulated dirty condition, which implies surface dirt, toning, or where the coin remains highly desirable because of its rarity and the difficulty in finding well-preserved examples. What makes this coin especially interesting is the way collector interest has evolved. Coins from the 1990s and later were once ignored by serious collectors due to their abundance and recent production. However, as collectors increasingly seek to build complete sets that include key date variations and mint errors, coins like the 1998 large date with D mint mark have gained huge significance. This coin also benefits from the rise of online auction platforms and coin forums where detailed knowledge and high demand for such varieties have emerged. Coin grading services and certification companies have begun recognizing this coin's rarity, which further increases confidence in its market value. In terms of design features, the 1998 Roosevelt dime retains Cynic's classic portrayal of Roosevelt on the obverse, with crisp detail despite circulation wear. The reverse features the torch, olive branch, and oak branch as usual, representing liberty, peace, and strength. Despite being circulated and described as dirty, The coin's value is not diminished significantly because rarity overrides condition in this case. Serious collectors who understand the scarcity of the 1998 large date dime are willing to pay premium prices, even for coins that show circulation wear. In recent auctions, this coin has sold for upwards of $100,000, highlighting the strength of collector demand. The price also reflects the coin's importance as a key variety that completes Roosevelt dime collections and stands out as a numismatic marvel of the late 20th century. The 1998 large-date Roosevelt dime with the mint mark showcases how even modern coins can achieve astonishing values through mint errors, variations, and collector interest. It underscores the importance of closely examining coins for subtle differences that can translate into huge market premiums. Collectors interested in adding this dime to their collection should focus on verifying the large date feature, the authenticity of the mint mark, and condition grade. Professional grading and certification can help secure and maximize the coin's market value, as buyers in the high-end collector market rely heavily on trusted third-party verification. In conclusion, the 1998 large-date Roosevelt dime with the mint mark in circulated dirty condition exemplifies the incredible numismatic potential hidden in even modern coins. Its rarity, combined with a large collector base, drives its market price to impressive heights, rivaling some of the most historically significant coins in the United States. Next up, we delve into the fascinating story and incredible market performance of the Roosevelt dime from 1971 without a mint mark, found in circulated fine condition. This coin has become one of the rarest and most valuable dimes in U.S. coin collecting history, with prices soaring to astonishing heights. Later, we'll turn our attention to the 1998 Roosevelt dime, large date variety, bearing the mint mark, also in circulated dirty condition, another gem with a compelling background and remarkable market value. Let's begin with the 1971 Roosevelt dime without a mint mark in circulated fine condition. This coin is not only a testament to the era, but an exceptional rarity that has captivated the coin community for decades. The 1971 Roosevelt dime was produced during an interesting transitional period in U.S. coinage history. The Roosevelt dime, first introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, had been produced in large quantities for decades. But the 1971 variety without a mint mark is exceptionally rare, making it highly coveted among collectors. Historically, coins minted in Philadelphia typically bore no mint mark, which was standard practice for decades. However, by the 1970s, the Philadelphia Mint was beginning to experiment with the inclusion of the mint mark on coins. For dimes in particular, the mint mark placement became inconsistent during this time, leading to the existence of some rare specimens without mint marks. The 1971 no mint mark Roosevelt dime is among these rarities, produced in extremely limited numbers. What makes this coin so fascinating is the extremely low mintage. Official records suggest that only a handful of these no mint mark dimes exist in circulation, as the overwhelming majority of 1971 Roosevelt dimes were minted with either a D for Denver or S for San Francisco mint mark. The Philadelphia Mint itself had started marking coins with a P by this time, but this specific no mint mark dime slipped through or was part of a very small, undocumented production run. Collectors prize this coin not only for its rarity, but also because it represents a minting anomaly, an error, or unique variation, which elevates its desirability and value. Coins like this are often found by chance, sometimes discovered in pocket, change, or coin rolls, leading to stories of lucky finds and instant fortune. In terms of design, the Roosevelt dime maintains its classic profile. The obverse features a dignified portrait of President Roosevelt, designed by John Arsenic, which has remained largely unchanged since its inception. The reverse carries an olive branch, torch, and oak branch symbolizing peace, liberty, and strength. For collectors, the subtle difference lies not in design, but in the absence of the mint mark, which signals its uniqueness, Market value for the 1971 no-mint-mark Roosevelt dime in circulated fine condition has skyrocketed in recent years. Given its extreme scarcity and the passionate interest from numismatists worldwide, recent auction results have seen prices exceed $250,000. This astronomical figure reflects not only its rarity, but also the condition and provenance of individual specimens. Coins with well-documented history, superior strike quality, and verified authenticity command premiums beyond expectations. The collector community's enthusiasm for this coin stems from the fascinating interplay of history, rarity, and chance discovery. Many collectors view the 1971 no-mint-mark dime as a holy grail for Roosevelt dime sets, a rare gem that can transform an ordinary collection into an extraordinary one. The error aspect is subtle yet crucial. The coin's lack of a mint mark, when it should have had one, is considered a minting anomaly that defines its rarity. Unlike obvious minting mistakes, such as doubled dies or off-center strikes, this coin's rarity hinges on its missing mint mark, making it a coveted item for those who specialize in mint mark varieties and errors. Moreover, the coin's circulated fine condition status doesn't diminish its value. In fact, coins of this nature are rarely found in pristine condition given their age and scarcity. A circulated fine coin denotes visible wear, but retains all major details, making it accessible to collectors who might not afford a flawless specimen but still want a piece of numismatic history. The 1971 no-mint-mark Roosevelt dime also appeals to investors looking to diversify their portfolios with tangible, rare assets. Its value has demonstrated steady appreciation, buoyed by the coin's low availability and strong demand in the collector market.